In theory, thanks to the magic of having a separate audio recorder, I should be able to go and sit over there and do the wine tasting from a distance. A great leap forward from the very basic video production capabilities of Tweedy Enterprises today. Of course, you won't be able to see the label from that distance. Am I going to have to come back a bit closer? Today, some Côte de Nuits village. The producer is Domaine du Clos des Poulettes. New to me. It's a 2019. Is that possibly a vineyard name? En Vierville. This is another wine that I bought from the winery, was it called? That shop in Maida Vale where I went last week sometime, I think. It's another one of those attempts to try and find some kind of under the radar Burgundy. Presumably if it's from the Côte de Nuits village, it'll be at least close to a more well-known village, but just outside of their boundaries, so it can't be classified thereas. Is that a word, thereas? Terrible content. Just because you've got a slightly more fancy audio setup, it doesn't stop me talking absolute rubbish, does it? It's quite a soft, delicate sort of nose. Getting something vaguely floral from that. Pretty subtle on the nose. Floral, if anything. Not getting an obvious fruit character there. Nice. Again, fairly subtle but delicate sort of a palate. There is a little bit of cherry, possibly even a tiny hint of something menthol, like tunes. You remember those cough sweets, throat sweets were there? I think there was a cherry flavour of those. A little bit like that, sort of slightly candied cherry kind of sensation with a bit of something slightly mentholy on the palate. I suppose I am starting to notice a little bit more, maybe cherry-like fruit on the nose, but possibly something like Victoria plum, one of those darker plums. Yeah, that's interesting. It's low on the tannins. I wouldn't say it's dry, but it's not particularly sort of big and fruity either. On the lighter side, despite not really being able to describe it very adequately, I would say I think I actually kind of like that. Sort of easygoing, a kind of background wine. Gentle, delicate, subtle. Perhaps with a bit more age, it will become a little bit more condensed and intense. It doesn't have that sort of youthful Pinot flavour though, just very light. Maybe this is the style that it's intended to be. Perhaps that's a good Burgundy for a summer's day, or a warmish spring day at least. I've been reading some of the professionally written tasting notes to see what I'm missing here. First of all, the location of the vineyard is apparently Courgeloin. I think that's very, very far south in the Côte de Nuits. There is only is it 7 villages, I forget, that we decided that you could actually label as Côte de Nuits village. James Suckling, I think it is, the wine critic, writes that it has a sour cherry nose. I am picking up a bit more of something cherry-like now, and I suppose sour cherry could be right. I'm thinking of that maraschino liqueur, that, you know, the Italian liqueur, the thing you use for making an aviation for any cocktail fans out there. So I'm getting a little bit of that. James Suckling also talks about the balance being very nice on the palate, so it does have a nice bouncy acidity. It does still have a sort of pretty kind of nose. There's something floral and some delicate fruit there. Anyway, it's not particularly great commentary, but lovely view. Cheers.